We're here today to learn about this really exciting new program that we have called Open for Business, which Wells Fargo has been so generous to fund. Today, let me move the screen. Okay, screen change for you guys, right? Yes. Today, I am hoping we'll do some introductions so that you can get to know me, for those of you that don't know me, and I also want to know who's joined us on the call. I want to tell you a little bit about the Innovation Hub, which is the department that I lead here at AEO. I want to tell you about this cohort. I want to review Resili, what it is, what are some exciting things we're doing in the platform, and then obviously a moment for questions. But again, you can feel free to stop me along the way and ask questions. So in terms of introductions, I'd love to introduce myself. My name is Mabell Fernandez. I am the Director of Innovations here at AEO. I've been with AEO for over a year, but have about 20 years of experience working with underserved individuals generally and looking for solutions to sort of improve life circumstances, right? Just because of your background, maybe what color you are, where you grew up, it shouldn't determine your future. And I've been committed to finding some of those solutions. And I'm really excited to be at AEO. And I'll tell you a second about what the Innovation Hub is, but really looking at solutions. Sybil, I know we've had a couple of new people join since you did your kickoff at the beginning. So I thought maybe a moment for you so that everybody gets to know you.
Yes, absolutely. I am the Director of Digital Marketing and Communications for AEO. I'm very excited about this presentation. I'm relatively new to AEO, but I will say I've been working in the entrepreneurial space probably about 5 or 6 years, and more on the small business owner side versus the service provider side. But I'm very excited I'm also going to be learning more about Wells Fargo Open for Business program, as you all are through Mabell, because what I do know about the program, I think it's going to be amazing, and it's going to offer a lot of great solutions for you all to be able to provide for your portfolio of businesses.
Awesome. Now I'd love to have a couple of volunteers introduce yourself. Obviously, you're here with us too. So anybody brave enough to come on camera, tell me sort of who they are, where they're calling from?
Hi, Mabell. I'll go. My name is Bridget Ross, and I'm Vice President of Business Support for Lift Fund. And our corporate office is located out of San Antonio, Texas. We cover a 15-state footprint. We're known for our micro lending and our business support division. And also on the line, we're definitely happy to be here. And we've worked with one other program with AEO. And I can tell you it is so beneficial for our communities that we serve. So we're happy to be here, happy to be at the table. And with that, I will kick it over to Anna.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Hi, Mabell. It's nice to see you again. I'm Ana Pereira. I'm a business advisor with Lift Fund. And like Bridget said, we worked with AEO last year and with a program that helped our small businesses. So I'm very excited to have another tool for our clients.
Awesome. Thank you. It's so nice to have you guys here. Our support to testify to the wonderful opportunity that it was to work on this program. And Bridget and Anna were actually part of version 1 of the pilot that we're running here. So we'll look to you both to talk about sort of your experience in that pilot and the value that you found. But thank you for joining. Anybody else willing and brave enough to jump on camera, introduce themselves? Right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Rahma Salu, and I'm coming in from East Harris County Empowerment Council. I am the Economic Opportunity Program Manager, and my role is to oversee the Small Business Development Program and the Workforce Development Program in East Harris County. We work in 6 communities of North Shore, Galena Park, Crosby, Sheldon, San Jacinto City. And pretty much I'm too excited to be here to learn more from you guys. Thank you.
Awesome. One last brave soul that's willing to introduce themselves.
Yes, hi, my name is Ava O'Neill. I'm actually from Albany, Georgia. I offer technical assistance on behalf of Albany Community Together, and I'm looking forward to hearing more information about this great opportunity.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. And for those of you that didn't get a chance to, but want, please introduce yourself over in chat. Would love to hear who's here with us. Also helps me tailor the content a little bit. Thank you for the reaction of the heart pang. I really appreciate it. But I'll jump in for the sake of time to make sure I can get through all of the content. So I want to tell you a little bit about what is the Innovation Hub for those that might be new to our work. So the Innovation Hub is, I like to think of it as, don't tell Connie, who's the president, but I like to think of it as a little laboratory where what we do is essentially test a lot of solutions, really looking to solve some of the greatest problems that exist for entrepreneurs here in the US. So one of the first ways, this little light bulb I like, because it kind of talks about how things evolve and shape, and having Bridget and Anna here really testifies to this, right? We might recognize that there's a problem that exists in the system. We'll tell you in a second sort of how this Open for Business opportunity came about, but we recognize a problem, we identify a potential solution, and then we look to test and evaluate it. So we might do a cohort to sort of explore it, get outcomes from it, learn what worked, what didn't work, how do we improve this, sort of inject some updates and edits, and then run another cohort and see, do those changes work? Have we landed on the solution? If we have, great, let's bring it to entrepreneurs. If we haven't, if it's not quite there, then let's run another cohort, right? And keep testing until we actually have a solution that works. And the philosophy for that is that, for one, we don't know everything there is to know about supporting entrepreneurs and ensuring that entrepreneurs, the solutions that we design actually solve the problem, right? Kind of pretentious to say, I have the perfect solution, it's done, it's ready, everybody use it. Our philosophy is everything gets better with tests, and users are the ones that can tell us this is working, this isn't. And so we came up with a solution called Resili, which I will talk about sort of a little bit later. But Resili came about out of the pandemic, where we thought, when we realized entrepreneurs really needed a lot of support, and it was hard to navigate. Everybody came out with a lot of information to say, here's how we can help you. And it was hard to figure all of that out, right? There's a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot that entrepreneurs need to do, and very little time to get it done. So what we produced was this platform that sort of has all of the knowledge centralized in one place. And the solution we thought is great. However, we wanted to make sure that, one, we don't serve entrepreneurs directly, you do, right? And so let's get the solution to the people that need it most. So we run one cohort where we brought the solution to the cohort members, to the service providers directly, to see, does this work for you? Does this address your need? And then those service providers identified entrepreneurs, brought their entrepreneurs to the platform, so that the entrepreneurs could also test the solution, right? So now we're getting feedback from two places: you as a service provider and the entrepreneur as a user. And that allows us to know what improvements could we make to empower you to provide better services, focus on what you want to do, which is make change in your community. This solution is meant to help you streamline that. And then also inject feedback from entrepreneurs across the country on how the tool may or may not meet their needs. So sort of the approach that Innovations takes to our work really meant to be a collaborative experience. The reason we do these cohorts is to get live feedback from you, right? We designed the solution. We don't know if it works. We need you to tell us what works, what doesn't. So we're now doing our second round. We're like in this place in the light bulb. And what we're looking for is cohorts that can, individuals, organizations that want to test the second round of the solution. We've already had one group give us feedback. We've made improvements based off of that. And now we're looking for the second round. So I'd like to jump in and tell you about what makes up a cohort, what is the expectation, and then I'll review the tool. Does that make sense? Again, thumbs up, questions, thoughts, reactions to anything I said? Nothing yet? Okay, cool. All right. So what is the cohort? So we recognize that obviously having you participate, give us feedback, and learn about this tool doesn't come for free, right? You would have to give up your time to do something else. So what we're offering is a $20,000 stipend to participate in this program with us over the course of 3 years. So there'll be key milestones that we'll meet together, but we will issue sort of a stipend to help you cover the cost of participating in the program and administering the program to your entrepreneurs. We will offer training and support along the way. What is pillar and standard with AEO cohorts is that we do a monthly call where we hear from you, right? What support do you need? How can we show up better to make sure that you succeed? And so we'll be there to train you on the tool, answer all of your questions. We might even do, I think one of the things that my colleagues have often done is we'll do on-demand calls. If you're struggling, we're here. We're here to support you. And then we'll give you access to Resili and all of the suite of services that come with it for free, right? We're paying you to participate in this. The tool is available for you. So in exchange, who's eligible? So we're looking for nonprofits who provide services to entrepreneurs, right? The solution is designed to help you deliver better services to small businesses. So we want to make sure that you deliver services to small businesses. We want to identify organizations that can demonstrate the capacity to recruit, but 150 entrepreneurs to sort of sign up and enroll in the program by the end of this year. As I mentioned, the program is 3 years, and what we're looking for is sort of onboard the entrepreneurs and then measure their use of the tool, your use of the tool over time. So really trying to get a sense of what impact does this have when you give it time to function. And then obviously your ability to fulfill other requirements to participate. So you might ask yourself, well, Mabell, what are those requirements? And I would say, I have the answer for you in my next slide. In my next slide, we'll talk about sort of what is required. Number one is participate in our kickoff and monthly meetings. Again, that's integral for us to be able to have that open line of communication, right? I don't want to just give you a tool and say, peace out, good luck. I want to be there to support you. So it's your engagement and participation in those sessions. Obviously, to participate in the training, I do nothing with giving you a tool if I don't teach you how to use it. So your engagement in that training so that you do know how to optimize and use the tool, your ability to recruit and engage the 150 entrepreneurs, to designate somebody to work with the entrepreneurs, and I'll tell you what that means in a second, to conduct these business health assessment, which our system does for you, but essentially sort of goes into what is the business challenge that they're facing and how do we best support them so that those entrepreneurs conduct that. And then to support entrepreneurs with Resili as it comes up. And then at the very end, obviously, as we think about the program is about learning and collecting insights. So helping us collect surveys and feedback from entrepreneurs as they engage. So really looks like a lot of text, but the requirements, what we're looking from you is hang out with us, give us your feedback in monthly meetings, participate in training so that you know how to use the tool, recruit the entrepreneurs, designate somebody to own this program and support the businesses with it, and then oversee entrepreneurs' engagement with the work, right? You know them, they're your businesses, they don't necessarily know us. And so really looking for you to be our partner in the execution of this program and then helping us evaluate it. So it's sort of a standard program in a nutshell where we're here to provide all of the support needed to help you be successful. Any questions on those requirements? Does that make sense? I think it feels sort of very obvious. Okay, I got some nods. Any thumbs up?
I
Mabell?
have a question. This is Anna. So is this similar to phase one that we were part of? So the same surveys and the same one-on-one coaching sessions and all of that? So is it the same but with 150 businesses?
That's right. It's the same thing. The surveys, based on feedback that we received from round one, surveys have been reduced, questions have been more specific. So all the feedback we got to make the surveys better has been implemented. We've also streamlined and standardized how that information is collected. So I'll tell you about that in a second. But yes, this is the phase two of the pilot that you and Bridget participated in last time.
Okay, and are the same number of surveys? So
yes, they are. There would be a survey after the entrepreneur completes a coaching session, if they sign up to do one, and then there would be a survey once a year over the 2-year evaluation.
Okay.
Great. I see another question. And I think actually, is it Braham? You had come off mic. Yeah.
Yes, I was only asking if you'll be providing us with the notes later on.
You mean the slides?
The slides, yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Sorry.
we will send it. And I believe Sybil is also recording this, so we'll include the video as well.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
And which is what I thought your question was going to be, so I'll just answer it anyway. All of the surveys that are needed, we've developed them for you already. You don't have to do any of that. So everything is almost like out of a box. Here it is, go run it. We've actually even done the automation, so you don't necessarily even have to send it to the entrepreneur. It will go automatically. You'll just follow up if they don't actually engage, right? Because sometimes people don't like responding to emails, so I might need you to nudge them. But I have 2 more questions.
Mabell, I do have a quick question. Since you mentioned nonprofit as an accountant in a for-profit that offers the technical assistance on behalf of a nonprofit, will I need to kind of register under that nonprofit, or how will that work?
Yeah, I can take that question with you offline. I believe I have to look at the terms of our agreement with Wells Fargo, but I believe the stipulation was that it was nonprofit, so you might have to do it through the nonprofit. But let me look into that and I can get back to you. I know that I'm like 90% inclined to say that there is a caveat of it being a nonprofit. So a good question. I can follow up with you.
I am Mabell. Go ahead and answer Farrell and Fancy, but Hang has a question, which I will do after.
Sounds good.
Answer them.
Yes, ma'am. This is Farrell Mitchell. I wanted to know if 2 questions. If you guys do marginalized communities that's usually forgotten, like the Antelope Valley, and also too, we specialize in starting businesses and nonprofit organizations. So we're very much interested. I've personally helped establish well over 300 businesses. So this is the first time I heard about this, and this is an excellent thing for our community. So I most definitely would like to be a part of it. So would nonprofits be part of the businesses that we can help? Is my main question.
That's a great question. Congratulations on the wonderful work that you're doing. Thank you for joining us and thank you for your interest in the program. There is no specific caveat to the small businesses. So if you support nonprofits, I believe that would work as well. But good question. Fancy.
Greetings. I came in a little late, but I did see all the requirements and a little bit about what all it entails. But I'm curious because I'm not a nonprofit. And so I know someone just kind of asked the question about nonprofits, but it seems like she may have one. So if we aren't a nonprofit, do we still possibly qualify?
Yeah, I'll give you the same answer. Obviously, I gave, I think it was, the name, I think it was Ava. I'll have to confirm. I feel I'm like 90% sure it was a stipulation for people who are registered as a nonprofit. So I can, in our follow-up note to all of you with the presentation, we'll include that answer. So I'm sorry, I wasn't actually anticipating that question. So I'll have to get back to you, but I think there is a stipulation that it has to be a nonprofit. I'll flag it if not.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. All right, so I just got through the requirements. Let me jump into and now all of you.
Mabell, really quick.
Yes, there was one more question.
Peng asked, if a small business is aligned with this work and has a strong relationship with the community, but is not connected to a nonprofit, could AEO match that interested SBO to a nonprofit in the same area who is signing up for this program?
Yes, and actually I could do one better. Excellent question. I could do one better, which is because we recognize actually in our first pilot, it was very closed. It was only people from the nonprofits that could nominate entrepreneurs. And one of the feedback that we got was that entrepreneurs outside of that coverage wanted to participate in this program. And so that's not fair that they didn't have an opportunity, right? Almost felt like a select few could participate in this. And so what we've done for the second pilot is that there's almost like 2 recruiting arms for this. AEO, the cohort, the 10 organizations, because we're looking to select 10 organizations that participate in this pilot will do their own recruitment from their community, but AEO is also supporting in the recruiting. And so entrepreneurs that maybe don't fall in those 10 can can come be a part of my club. They can be identified as an AEO entrepreneur. So there is no, if an entrepreneur wants to participate that isn't being identified from one of the selected nonprofits, they can participate as an AEO entrepreneur. Hopefully that helps, but that's an excellent question. And thank you for giving me an opportunity to answer that.
Yes.
This is what I mean. I know things
Mabell,
in my head. Yes.
one more. And
Of course.
what type of small businesses are we talking about?
Great question. So our niche, the people who we've designed this program for, is entrepreneurs who have under 2 years of experience, less than $250,000 in revenue, and two, anywhere from 1 to 3 employees. That being said, the services, and I'll run through them now, because the program is so tailored to the specifics of the business, right? The challenges that they might be facing. It is suitable for businesses that are more advanced than that, and could be appropriate for businesses that are in pre-launch phase. That being said, the target entrepreneur is those that have been operating for 2 years, have 1 to 3 employees, less than $250,000. That's sort of who our niche is and who will probably find the most value. Excellent question. Awesome.
Thank you.
So I've sold you on come join us, and actually you don't really know what we're doing. So let me tell you what it is that we're doing. I'd love to tell you about Resili, and I'd love to tell you about the support that we're offering organizations who participate as a way to manage their entrepreneurs. So I'll start with Resili. So Resili is a website that's actually live right now. You can view it as resili.aeoworks.org. You will catch yourself that there's things in the page you can't see because you need to have an account, because we want to make sure that it's sort of user driven. But in our homepage, which looks kind of like this, what you'll notice is that it's sort of it has easy navigation. There's ways all around the page where you can click to arrive to different sections of the content, that there are on-demand courses, which you can view by clicking here. There's webinars, and then there's a My Profile page, and there's a reason for each of those, and I'll jump into that. There is also, which we're super excited about, a 24/7 chat bot. Just think of, I think I said this morning, big online stores, not to be named, that ship things in a brown box, where you log in and you have questions, right? It guides you to a chat bot first. This kind of system tries to generate answers for you so that you don't have to wait to speak to an individual, and it gives you the answers as you need them. So we've done the same thing with Resili. There's a chat bot that allows you to select and navigate questions that you might have in terms of how do you use the platform. Now, if your question is so tailored that you need individual support, there is a email address that they can contact to address us, but it's after you do the navigation, same as that big online store would do, right? So we think that's super valuable because it allows entrepreneurs who might be doing this after hours, they can still kind of move forward without having to wait till the last minute. And the really cool thing about Resili is that it's personalized, and it's personalized to the user. As I mentioned, we really wanted to make sure that it wasn't a site where it's like, here, go watch everything that's available, figure out what you want, good luck, peace out. We've tailored it to the individual so that they only watch the thing that makes sense for them. And so how do we do that? How has it been tailored? Every entrepreneur that joins Resili has to complete a business health assessment. The business health assessment is about 80-question survey that delves into every area of the business. We look at human resources, operations, marketing, finance, legal, really trying to understand where are the areas of weaknesses for the business and what are the areas of strength and where could we provide most support, right? When the entrepreneur submits that survey, they automatically get an analysis of what are the areas of strengths and weaknesses, and that analysis is generated for you. You get an email notification automatically that says, an entrepreneur has joined the platform and completed a BHA. Here's the analysis of what they answered. You'll see a breakdown of all of their questions, as well as sort of the analysis generated by our system to give you insights onto how to talk to that entrepreneur about their progress. The BHA, I would say, is the strongest part of Resili because it does that deep dive into the business, and because it then allows us to personalize the experience. So the moment the entrepreneur completes the BHA, I would say probably 30 seconds to a minute later, Resili shows them their individual course recommendations, as well as provides an opportunity for them to sign up for coaching sessions if they wanted, and to get additional support, right? So this BHA becomes sort of the starting point for everything you do on the platform. It is really easy to complete. It is mobile friendly. So entrepreneurs who maybe are on the go, maybe don't have internet at home, whatever, they can also do it from their phone. And every link is customized to your entrepreneur. So you will be able to see their progress, and I'll show you that a little bit later. Once the entrepreneur completes the BHA, they'll have those personalized recommendations on Resili, and they can watch courses that suit their specific needs. So you'll get sort of on-demand courses, sort of like this one. What I'm showing here are some of our Facebook courses. They have progress bars. They'll tell you sort of, you can opt in to watch the next session, or you can go to your profile and choose your customized recommendation. But there's a series of courses on the platform, and continues to grow based on feedback that we receive from you that address those insights. Right now, one of the things that we've done since cohort 1 is actually we've brought on a content management firm to build new content for us, and to make sure that the voices in those content come from individuals that look like me, that speak to me, right? So I'm Latina. It's making sure that the voice on the other end resonates with me. If it's a Black entrepreneur who is our target, that voice resonates there, right? So that entrepreneurs feel like they can identify with the voice on the other end. So that's sort of on our course front. We also have webinars that happen live, and every session that we've done is recorded. So the moment this program kicks off, there will be a whole schedule of upcoming webinars available on the platform for entrepreneurs to sign up. And those are meant to be sort of responsive to what's happening right now. One of the things that we're very sensitive to is what I've been calling the tsunami of issues that small businesses are facing, right? Marketing and legal and all that stuff is cool. But the reality is that entrepreneurs are struggling with hiring. They're struggling with supply chain, they're struggling with inflation, they're struggling with lack of funds, right? And so making sure that these webinars are responsive to the market and to the ecosystem. So you'll find that the webinars will be, the ones that we'll coordinate for this program, will be very much in tune with what's happening in the market and in response to what you tell us in those cohort sessions, right? We meet, let's say this month, you tell me, hey, my entrepreneurs are flagging that they really need help with I don't know, it's election and there's a lot of conflicts and blah, 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 blah. And so depending on what feedback we get, if that resonates with all of the other participants, we will create and identify a speaker to host a webinar on that topic. So we're meaning for this to be very responsive, which is why we've brought on this firm to help us with content. In this page, you'll see, as I flagged here, you'd see that the chat bot kind of follows you everywhere. You could always log off and see your profile there as well. The one cool, really exciting thing that we've added on the platform is on-demand and downloadable resources for entrepreneurs. One of the ones that we have available now, but we're looking to build more, is industry analysis. There's a page that is covered, so it's locked in, you have to have an account to access, but it has industry insights for a variety of industries that entrepreneurs tend to fall in. If one of your entrepreneurs is not covered in one of these, you could always flag it for us, right? This is where it's very responsive. You flag it for us, we'll go build it, we'll put it on the page for them. But we've covered, I think it's something like 30 to 40 different industries on the page, and the entrepreneur can download insights that pertain to them. And the download looks kind of like this. Has a description of the industry, what the competitive landscape looks like, what products are showcased there, what is the market opportunity for them. So really aiming to provide almost an additional layer of support, not only for you as a coach, as a person supporting the business, but also for the business on their own, right? Maybe I don't want to meet with anybody because I don't have time and I want to navigate, I'm driven enough, I want to navigate things on my own. The resources are available and downloadable by the entrepreneur on the site. And then the last thing that I want to flag about the page is that there is this My Profile page. In the My Profile page is where the entrepreneur can see all of their customized recommendations. So when they complete that BHA, the system generates recommendations on these are the courses we think you should watch. Here's additional courses that are available for you, and here's the full catalog. You can go access it. And so in this profile page, the entrepreneur can see the courses, they can see how many of them they've done. They can request a coaching session. They have the opportunity, we'll train you on how to do those coaching, but they have the opportunity to say, I actually would like to speak to somebody about this. And all of that is personalized and attached to their account. All they have to do literally is press a button and a notification is sent to you to say this entrepreneur is interested in meeting with you for a coaching session. So I'm gonna pause there because I think that was a lot of information of Brazili. The next thing I want to actually, sorry, never mind. I had one more slide. So let me tell you the one more slide. For entrepreneurs that choose to meet with a coach, we've developed previously, and we tested this in our first pilot, a business health snapshot. We would train coaches, which would come from your organizations, because the entrepreneurs have that affinity, right? They've worked with you. We want to make sure they feel comfortable with who they're meeting with. But we would train you on developing this for the entrepreneur. And what we've done that is even a step up from where we were before, but also aim to make this as easy for you as possible, is that our system generates all of these responses for you. So all you have to do is literally put them together, present them to the entrepreneur, but all of these recommendations, what are the strengths for that individual business? What are the opportunities for that business to grow? What are the areas for them to work on in customer relationship and financial and operations? What are industry insights? All of that is produced by our system. Now, we recognize that there's only so much a computer can generate, right? What we want is for you to review that and say, does that sound right for you? Review it with the entrepreneur and say, does this resonate with you? And provide your additional recommendations that might come from your own expertise in supporting businesses in this industry or in your community. So the document is editable, right? You work on it, you select what you think is appropriate, but what we're doing is trying to give you as much recommendations, as much insight to make that conversation really productive with the entrepreneur. So I want to pause there before I jump in and tell you sort of how does this look on the back end for you as a service provider. Any questions on Brazili? Okay, seeing no questions. Wow, I must have been really thorough.
One question.
One question. Yes.
So is Brazili a virtual course, pretty much? So
yeah,
pretty much they
is
need
like
to
an
have
online platform.
Okay, an online platform. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm assuming your second question was going to be, so pretty much they need to have access to internet. And unfortunately, yes, they would need access to internet.
Yes, because on my end, I am working with small businesses that are currently transitioning to e-commerce tools. And some of them are coming from low and moderate income communities, and we are trying to get some of the technological equipments to them. So I just wanted to know.
Yeah, that's a great point. There's courses on Brazili to support that transition from like a information website to an e-commerce website. So that transition we can help with, but you're absolutely right. To be able to access this, to complete the survey, right? They'll need access to some kind of web-enabled device. They can do the survey from their mobile device. They can even access Brazili from their mobile device. But you do need to be connected to the internet somehow. That is unfortunate, but it also allows for scale, right? It allows me to get you content that can be disseminated across the country. It also allows for the entrepreneur to access it on their own now. They might need to go to a community center or a library, but they would need to have some access to internet. So excellent note.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Fancy, I see your hand is up. Did you have an additional question? Is that from before?
I'm sorry, I need to take it down from before.
Okay, got it. Any other questions before I tell you about the back end, which I'm like so thrilled to tell you about, because we built this based on feedback from cohort 1. No questions. Okay, so there is sort of, Brazili is the entrepreneur facing work, right? That's what they see. That's how they navigate the page. But we recognize that if you're bringing entrepreneur forward, you want to know what they're doing, right? Are they actually taking advantage of things? And you're going to want to know that on demand. You probably aren't going to want to wait for us to produce a report for you once a week that tells you this entrepreneur joined, this one didn't. But you're going to want to see that on hand. And so what we've done is we've built a partner portal. There's 2 sites, 2 main pages on the site. One is sort of this homepage section that has all of the short links and resources available for you on demand. So you can see every presentation that we do is available there. You can download it from there. Any instructions that we've provided on how do you move the program forward is available there. So it's like short links, think of it shortcuts to everything that we've talked about in the program. That's on demand on the page. The handy thing about that, I think, is that it allows you to kind of have fingertip access to information. You don't have to hunt down your inbox, right? You don't have to like record or take notes all the time. Like, we've made every document available for you on the page as you think about how do you manage the program. The other thing that we've done is created an entrepreneur management site, which is actually accessible through, let me see, can I go back? So if you see this button here, it says Entrepreneur Dashboard. When you click on that, it gives you almost like a back-end view to Rizzili that lets you know what has the entrepreneur done on the page. So in there, you'll see down here, you'll see the entrepreneur's name, the entrepreneur's email address, their business name, and the status. Have they just created an account in Rizzili? Have they completed a post-coaching session? Have they completed a BHA? All of that is available there, and it takes about 30 seconds to update. So you can open it at midnight on a Sunday, and the information is up to date. You don't have to ask us, which sounds really simple, but it was such a huge lift for our tech team, but we're so excited to bring it to you. The other thing that we've done on this page is sort of had access to quick links, right? We want to make sure, obviously, we need to know which entrepreneur is coming from which provider. So there is a custom link created just for you that you'll use to give to your entrepreneur so that they can apply to the program. That's available here. You can just press the copy button and it pastes it wherever you want. We will create a marketing toolkit that includes like social media graphics, email communications that you can send to entrepreneurs. So everything you need to recruit the entrepreneur, including this link, right? So that the entrepreneur goes and is immediately identified by our system as coming from you. And then we'll populate this page for you. The other thing that you'll find as they're needed is sort of all the surveys that we've put together. What is the short link in case the entrepreneur is like, oh, I can't find the email. You have it handy there, right? But the entrepreneur is also getting a communication to say, hey, you should complete this. And you'll get their status when those things are done so that you know it's moving forward. Let me see. The other thing, in the event that you're like, oh yeah, okay, but this is a new website and to log in, I'm going to forget, like, what if I'm busy and I don't know that I needed to log in and check? The thing that we've done is that every time there's a status update, our system will generate an email automatically to you to say, hey, something happened in the page. This is an example of what the communication looks like. So here is a new post-coaching clinic survey was completed. It'll tell you this is sort of our test account, right? So innovations at AEO, but it might say to Lift Fund. We hope this finds you well. We're ready to let you know that somebody has completed the post-coaching clinic survey. Here is their link. If the entrepreneur completes a BHA, it'll show you, Mabell Fernandez completed the BHA. Here's the analysis. And actually, should have done a preview of that email, but here's the analysis of her responses. So you have it handy available on the page and you can click on, but if for some event you lose track of that email, you can always go back to the page and know the status there, right? So our aim was to make sure that you had it in a one-stop shop center, but that if you forget to log in, there's some email nudges that tell you, hey, something's happening on your page, you should go see it. So I'm gonna pause there and see if there are any questions on sort of the partner features.
Mabell, thank you so far. I can tell you from the first cohort to this one, I can tell you definitely did listen to our concerns and you've made those, implemented them here. My question mainly is the branded link, and you'll probably cover this. When will that go out? And also, will we be able to hyperlink this to an existing program that we have?
Yes, so the link is, you can hyperlink it everywhere. We've made it as a bit.ly link because they're shorter, right? But there's a longer URL as well. And you can put that in any landing page or any program overview page on your site. Perfect. Absolutely. Perfect. The links will be created when the cohorts are selected, right? So we want to make sure we create a unique link for every single one of the 10 organizations. And I saw Ping ask that question. 10 organizations across the country. There is no kind of geographic preference. We're looking for representation across the US. So once you're selected, those unique links will be created and you'll receive the recruitment package so that you know here's the social media graphic. Like we've done all of it. What to say on Facebook, what to say on Instagram, what to say on LinkedIn, what email to send out. All of that has been put together for you, and will be available the moment you're selected. Great. Any other question? That was an excellent question. Peng, I hope I answered your question on how many are participating, but let me know if you needed some other clarity. What is the time frame for the organization to apply? Another amazing question. So we will send the application link in the follow-up communication for everything that we've talked about. The application is open from now until the middle of this month. So we're looking to close it by May 15th. At that point, we will choose the nonprofits and looking to launch by end of May. So that kickoff will happen then, and then we'll meet on a regular basis there. So recruitment, thinking about onboarding entrepreneurs in June.
Barbara, so the program will run from June of 2022 to June of 2023?
To June of 2024.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
So
Great.
the 150 businesses are for those 2 years?
They would, right, we want to see, do they use it after 2 years, but we're looking for recruitment by the end of December. So bring on the entrepreneurs in the first 6 months, and then let's see their engagement, let's continue their support, let's see how they use the platform.
And by bringing the businesses is sign up into the platform, have the one-on-one coaching session, and submit the first survey. That's all that entails.
Even less, actually. What we mean by sign up is have the entrepreneur create a Resili account and complete the BHA. That counts as an entrepreneur is enrolled. We are, Anna's alluding to, in our first pilot, we required people to do the coaching session. One of the things that we learned is that not every entrepreneur was actually interested in the coaching session. So we've made those optional. So the entrepreneur has an opportunity to, if I want to do it, yes, I'll sign up. If I don't, then no. Now it's up to your discretion, right? If you want to require every entrepreneur to do the coaching session, that's fine too, but we're making it optional. It's not required on our end. So entrepreneurs, 150 entrepreneurs need to create an account and complete a BHA by December. Then from there, we want to see, do they sign up for the coaching session? How much of the content do they watch? What content are they needing, right? I'm looking to evaluate, I'm looking to get a better understanding on the utility of the tool. That's sort of the answer I want to get is, how can I make Resili something that entrepreneurs keep coming back to over the course of that 2-year evaluation? Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yes, makes a lot of sense. I'm happy
Great.
now.
Great.
I figured you would be, Anna.
Yes.
A question on that. When they ask for the coaching session, will that come back to, as an example, Lift Fund? If they came through the Lift Fund branded site, that coaching request would come back to us.
Yes, so you'll get an email notification saying Mabell Fernandez has requested a meeting, and we're allowing you to coordinate that directly with the entrepreneur.
Okay, so on that back end of that request, we use bookings as an example. Will we be able to do it, either go through Calendly and link?
Nope, you get the notice to say Mabell wants a coaching session. You follow up with the entrepreneur. You schedule them however you want. You want to pick up the phone and call them and get them on your calendar, you're fine to do that. If you want to use Calendly, you're welcome to do that. If you want to use Book Me, emails, whatever, we are not controlling how you book it. We're letting you do that.
That is perfect. Thank you. Yes.
We're asking these specific questions because these were, like they said, pilots is to perfect. That's the way that I look at it. And these are some things that we encountered in the first cohort. And in this cohort, they've making this these changes. So I'm just happy.
Me too.
I see a question in the chat from Mark. What happens if you don't identify the 150 entrepreneurs by December? That is a perfect question. My hope would be that because we're meeting monthly, we'll see that you're facing that challenge, and we'll talk to you, right, about recruiting. What we do with the $20,000, and this is typical of AEO grants, or AEO stipends, is that we sort of attach them to milestones, right? So our aim is that you do get to that 150 by December. Now, if an entrepreneur signs up in January, February, March of the following year, and you have 300 entrepreneurs who sign up, the more the merrier, right? All welcome. But we are looking for the 150 by December. In the event that you're not quite getting there, we'll support you along the way. If you don't make it at all, then we'll talk about what that means for the rest. But you can still use the program. There just might be, you might miss like a milestone payment, right? We might say it's $2,500 to get to 150. And if you don't get to that, maybe you won't get that $2,500, but you'll get everything else for doing the rest of the program. But it is really important. That's why that's part of the selection criteria for us. It's really important that you're able to get to the 150 by December. But you can always bring more. What were the challenges and learnings from the cohort? Or actually, I saw that Pang, that question came in, and I think Pharaoh, you had a question too. So I'm gonna answer that one, and then please feel free to jump on and ask. So we learned a lot. One of the things that we had aimed to do, we did our own test for what it's worth. Before we brought the first pilot and Bridget participated in it, AEO had run this program. One of the things that we learned was that scheduling the appointments was a huge lift. Like going back and forth with entrepreneurs over email was a pain in the butt. And so when we went to do the pilot with Bridget and Anna, we tried to automate the entire funnel. So we recommended, we like built into our system using Calendly to schedule appointments. Our system would follow up with the entrepreneurs to do all of that. And we ran into a roadblock. Some people have Calendly blocked. Some people don't use Calendly. Some people don't want to use Calendly. Some people prefer to schedule appointments with BookMe. And so even though we were trying to like solve for simplicity, I would say maybe micromanage too much of the funnel. We also had built the process to sort of send notifications to the entrepreneur as like, hey, you've been invited to join Resili. Here's the link to sign up. Hey, your post-coaching clinic you just did your coaching clinic. Here's the link to complete the survey. And what we noticed was that in that first engagement, when the entrepreneur first hears about Resili, they don't know who we are. And so they're getting an email from AEO and they're like, who the hell's AEO? Why are they emailing me? And also the email might come from our like email marketing tool, which obviously has all those different letters and stuff. So sometimes it was going to spam. And so in trying to support our cohort and saying like, you don't have to do any of the work, we've done it all for you, we'll contact the entrepreneur, we realized that that's actually not what you want. You want to own the relationship with the entrepreneur. You want a tool that supports your journey. And so we've taken all of those notifications off, at least at the sign up place, and sending the communications to you. Hey, the entrepreneur has done this step. You should follow up with them, right? Or you invite the entrepreneur, you got the communication out so that the relationship between you and the entrepreneur, we're not overstepping our boundaries. Furthermore, we learned a lot from the entrepreneurs on their engagement, that industry analysis and downloadable resource. All of that was developed in conjunction and in reaction to what the entrepreneurs said. We've made a bunch of enhancements to the business health assessment based on feedback that we received from service providers and from entrepreneurs. So like really why those open line of communications and open feedback is so important for this pilot. Really look to learn from what happened and try to make all of the enhancements that we understood would make this a lot better. So hopefully that gives you some insights, but I'm happy to share also our report, and you can read everything we learned. I mean, it was so powerful. Pharaoh, I think you had a question.
Yes, ma'am. In your products, do you have things that specialize for nonprofit organizations? We specialize in starting nonprofit organizations because we realize that nonprofit organizations is what feed our community. When our nonprofits get grants, we're able to hire staff, and the staff is what feeds the community. It goes out to the local stores and it goes out to the mom and pop stores, and that's what feeds our community. So do your services have things that specialize for nonprofit organizations?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So I'm going to give you two answers. From the perspective that nonprofit organizations are businesses, they need assistance with hiring, they need assistance with finances, they need assistance with marketing. All of those general business tools are applicable and available for nonprofits. Now, do we have specific content for nonprofits? At this time, we do not, because our first pilot was only serving for-profit businesses. So there isn't anything on the platform. Now, if we learn through this second pilot that there is an interest in having that content, that's why we've secured this firm to help us with content along the way. So we will build that. So if that's something that's common in the next cohort, we will put that together. But right now what we have is general business, sort of content that applies to general business practices, of which a nonprofit at the end of the day is a business nonetheless. And so that would be applicable. So I hope that helps.
How do we partner with you guys? Because we do have several courses that help with financing, grant writing, fundraising, and things like that.
So I love that. We can talk about that offline, but certainly happy to discuss that. So thank you. I'll follow up.
Okay, my information is on there for you to contact me.
I will do
Thank
that.
you.
I think I've had some other questions come in through the chat. So I have, were there certain communities that need more outreach? I think it depends. That question is really hard to answer on a general perspective. I think it depends on the relationship of the service provider to the entrepreneur. So if you have a really robust network of entrepreneurs and you connect with them, they respond to you really well, those organizations did not have a hard time with recruiting. There were organizations who sent an email to 500 entrepreneurs when we were looking for 30 in our first pilot. And they had some entrepreneurs who didn't respond, right? So that one is a little harder because it depends on the relationship of the service provider to the business. There was, from a general perspective, their entrepreneurs did express an interest in this service, and depending on how you talked about it with entrepreneurs, the engagement was always really positive. And the feedback from entrepreneurs after, particularly about the business health assessment, was so positive. If there was anything entrepreneurs in pilot 1 talked about, was how insightful that business health assessment was and that analysis was, which is why we've taken it a level up to personalize everything. So I think in terms of outreach, being able to pitch the program in a way that engages your entrepreneurs is sort of what's going to help connect that. Is there an application link? Eva, we will include that in the email. I thought about that. I'm going to be honest and say that as I was preparing for this presentation, I'm like, oh my God, I didn't develop the application link. So like secret, don't tell anybody. It will be in the email when you get it with the link, and that was totally my bad. Sybil has me really busy. It's all her fault, so blame her. The second question, would AEO staff be available for limited informational virtual with the organization to strengthen outreach? Absolutely. We want this to be a successful experience. We will do general information sessions that you can invite your entrepreneurs for, but if it feels like that's helpful, we can certainly have that conversation as well. Mark says, I was wondering, do any small business development organizations feel Resili is cannibalizing the participants for their own training program, or do they find that it is more of an enhancement and brings in a new and different clientele? So I'm going to give you an answer, but I have Bridget, who's a testimonial here, right? What we learned from pilot 1 was that this was an enhancement. Actually, I think if I may share generally, and I'll let Bridget speak about her experience. We've had entrepreneurs who participated in that, service providers who participated in that first pilot, contact us and say, can I continue to use that? Because it added so much value. So I don't see, AEO we don't serve entrepreneurs directly. So we're not a competitor. We're trying to test a solution to bring services to you. So I don't think anybody saw it as us cannibalizing the space, but I'm going to ask Bridget, actually, if you don't mind, to answer that, because you were a provider in the program.
Yes, ma'am. And I let Anna to piggyback too, because she worked directly with a lot of the entrepreneurs, her and one of a contractor that we had. But I can share this with you for sure. The key thing for us as providers is that we provide different resources to reach that client. We have about 4 different programs that we utilize. But those 4 programs do not reach all of our client base or the organizations that clients that we work with. So this is truly an enhancement. You'll see where it benefits. And in addition to that, when you work with another organization that does not have the access to put together a robust program like this, you being able to offer it is an enhancement for that community, because it's like they say, every person has a circle of influence of at least 300 people, right? So everybody on this call, if there are 1,400 on this call, you know, we all have access to about 300 people. It is truly an enhancement. It is not anywhere near, and I do understand the question, but I can assure you it's nowhere near being competition. And Anna, I'll let you interject your thoughts on that as well.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, we all serve different clients, and clients are different amongst themselves as well. So this helped me just making sure they understood everything, all the components of their business, and offer them, well, the Rosili platform, but other services that we would offer. So yeah, it enhances your advising services for sure.
Great. Thank you both. And I hope that answers your question, Mark, but certainly happy to take it offline as well, if that helps. I see another question was about types of industries covered. So I'm just quickly, I tried to switch out my screen. Can you see a website on your page? Yes, okay. So I want to show, the question was specifically about childcare. So this is all of the industries that are on the page now. So there's personal care services general here, you'll see for that cover childcare. So we'll talk about that space. But here are all the other ones as well. Again, we've developed these as a response to who participated in our first pilot. So if for some reason an entrepreneur that you serve in an industry that you cover is not covered here, you would flag that for us, and we will develop a content prior to the recruiting phase for entrepreneurs so that they have it available for them. So hopefully that helps there. It would definitely be helpful with Rosili communication kit for org. So great, we will have that. That is something that we've developed. Somebody said they had to go. So I'm sorry that we ran over. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you're as interested in participating in this pilot with us as we are to have it. We will follow up with the link. Again, it's all Sybil's fault, so you should really blame her. And we'll have the link if you're interested in applying. I'm available to answer questions, and I'll make sure to include my contact information in that follow-up note as well. So let us know. We're eager to have you help us make this tool be something that can help organizations across the country deliver really sophisticated services to their businesses. So thank you for joining us today.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Mabell. Honestly, I really don't think this ran over. Obviously, people had some really important questions to ask. And, you know, it's not every day that we could sit down with service providers and other businesses to an organization to talk about Wells Fargo Open for Business program. So love the questions. Thank you all so much. And thank you for coming and attending. This was our last webinar for National Small Business Week. We do have later today, we have 2 fireside chats with former PayPal grantees. It will be on IG, on our Instagram. Our Instagram is We Are AEO Works. And it will be an IG live, one at 3 o'clock and then one at 6 o'clock. The first one is with Patrina Dixon of It's My Money, and she's a personal finance expert, award-winning author, international speaker, and she will talk about the importance of finance and money management. And then we have Kanisha Scott of K. Scott Consults LLC, where she's going to talk about regulatory compliance, which is her specialty. So I'm going to throw this in the link. I'm in the chat so that you all could just click over and look at that and then sign up if you're interested. Also, I sent reminders out, and I believe it went out to everyone who registered for all the events. So you probably already have that in your inbox. But quickly, I wanted to answer 2 questions. One, Mark Thompson asked the possibility that the GoDaddy AEO Web Development Grant will that be coming up again? Yes, or high probability. I will say if you're not currently an AEO member, please become a member. You can just go to aeoworks.org and there go to the contact link and then join. And then from there, you can become a member. We have multiple tiers. The first tier is free. And then the reason for that is you will automatically be added to our mailing list so you can find out about all the future grant opportunities, events, and also all the cool innovation programs that Mabell organizes, such as this one, the Wells Fargo Open for Business. And you'll also learn more about Resili, our newest technology platform that provides all sorts of key important business resources that Mabell went over earlier today as part of this presentation. So definitely, if you're not currently a member, become a member. I cannot recommend it enough. Also, I just want to take this opportunity, as part of National Small Business Week, we've been doing different IG Lives with entrepreneurs, but after hearing this session as person who does the digital communications for AEO, I'm thinking there might be an opportunity to do some cool Facebook Lives and IG Lives with service providers and BSOs. So, because you all do some amazing work, and I would love for more people to find out about the work that you're doing and the services that you provide. So there will definitely be some follow-up conversations after this event, when we're going to follow with the slides, along with any other information regarding the program that based off of the questions that you all asked. But we're also going to, we'll be sending out a membership survey soon. And if you're a member and your service provider, you'll be part of that conversation, part of that survey, and we definitely want to get your input. And so with that, is there anything else that you want to add, Mabell, before we?
No, thanks everyone for joining us, for staying longer, for your wonderful questions. It was so nice to meet each of you. I've really appreciated sort of how interested the interaction, it didn't feel like I was just talking to myself. So thank you for engaging. We will hang on if you have additional questions, but otherwise feel free to go to your 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock meetings. I know we had one person who joined a little late, so happy to provide some additional guidance there. But again, look out for that email. It'll have the recording, it'll have the presentation, and it will certainly have the application link. Looking forward to seeing all of your applications in the link. So thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Any other questions for those that have stayed, or for you, Charisse? I think you joined a little later. Danielle, we'll include that in the email, but can certainly put that in the chat for you right now. So here's my AEO works. There's my email. And Charisse, no worries at all. We will send the recording. We'll send the PowerPoint slides. Hopefully that helps answer some of your questions. And I look forward to hearing from you. If you have questions afterwards, even after you watch the presentation, or if you don't want to hear me talk, I get it. I don't like the sound of my own voice either. Feel free to email me and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. Wonderful. Well, thanks everyone. We'll end the meeting. Thank you for joining us. It was very nice to meet you. Bye.